Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. And I am flipping fuming. Who the flip are we? Are we fucking Tottenham? Are we Tottenham? 1-0 up after 85 minutes to lose 2-1. Are we a disgrace against Fulham? We haven't lost against these lot of Stamford Bridge since 1979. 1979! What? Did you have too much of the Christmas show? Nah, piss off. I'm fuming. I am fuming. I was all right with the first half. Like, not amazing, but we should have killed them off, really. Cucurella's chance. Palmer had a chance. Jackson had a half chance. We had the moments. Second half, starts well. First 5-10 minutes, second half, great. And then the rest of that second half was an utter and absolute disgrace. And Maresca, we're having fucking words. I don't know whether you're still on the Italian Christmas vibes or what's going on. Stop bringing on Nkunku. Stop bringing on Nkunku, man. You make one sub, and it's the shit sub every time. Every game's the same shit sub. Every game, you take Jackson off, you bring Nkunku on, and we're shit for the last 20 minutes. Every fucking game. Stop doing that. Like, I know we had no options on the bench. Mudrik's fucking doping suspended. Madueke is God knows where he is. I was out just before the game started. So if anybody knows what's wrong with Madueke, I have no idea. So please tell me. So no wingers on the bench. Sure. Does that mean you need to bring Nkunku on for Jackson every game? Like, if you're going to have to take Jackson off, at least bring on João Felix. At least. Oh, man, Nkunku. And to be honest, I feel a bit harsh on Nkunku as well, because Nkunku nearly scored an absolute world equaliser at the end if it wasn't for that outrageous bird Leno save. Because that volley, scissor kick, bicycle kick, whatever you call it, from Nkunku was outrageous. And fair play to him for that. But I'm fuming. We were 1-0 up after 85 minutes. And we bottled it. Like, I was already fuming at playing 1-1 in this game. But 2-1. Sanchez. Like, you had such a good game. You've been good the last 2 weeks. And then you just punt it long, and you can't even punt it long enough. He didn't get it too far enough, where all our players were. And then we ran straight into the counter, conceded. You absolute dimwit. All fucking game long, we're hitting long ball after long ball after long ball into no man's land. Where is the tactics? Where is Maresca from Leicester City, where he subs off goalkeepers if they hit the ball long? Where is that? Why is it the game plan to punt the ball on against Fulham? For Jackson to be in a 1v1 duel against 3 centre-backs every two minutes? Like, I mean, we can blame Sanchez for some of it. 2 out of 40 long balls, absolutely. But half of it is also, why are we playing long balls to Jackson on his own? Like, if you play long balls, the rest of the team needs to push up to pressure for the second ball. But there was never any pressure for a second ball. We never had anyone up to win a second ball, because if you try to go for the second ball, there at least is something there. But if you just play to Jackson and no one's around him, well, then you're just never going to have the ball. That's all it is. We hit Leno, no composure in our finishing from Cucurella. From Cucurella? I mean, the header, yeah, but otherwise, I think it's a bit harsh. Have a go at Cucurella. Even the header, I think, is unlucky more than anything anyway. But the game management is a disgrace. Like, again, I know, slightly less of a good bench. But come on, what do all the other teams do? Like, we have this outrageous squad with this outrageous bench. Like, we're all gassing each other up, right? Sucking each other off about, oh, we've got Nkunku and Felix on the bench. Fucking brilliant. And then we don't even bring both of them on, but we always bring the shit one on out of position every fucking game. What is this? I don't even know why I'm so fuming today. And let me just make one thing clear, by the way. Because I've already seen a few people, in particular people like CFC Daily, and Ollie in our group, shout out you, Ollie, I love you, saying, oh, well, we're basically shit and we can't do anything. Now, I don't think it should be taken that far. But it's an unfortunate run of games now. You know what I mean? Like, dropping points against Everton, okay. Not the worst, but not good. And now you play against Fulham at home. Again, we haven't lost to Fulham at Stamford Bridge since 1979. 1979. That's 45 years. 45 years. Mad. Absolutely mad. And I'm fuming. I am fuming with all of these lot. I'm going to get to a couple of your chat messages now, ladies and gentlemen. If you're tuning in, I appreciate you all very, very much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get involved in the chat. I want to talk to you guys. RD says, masterclass subs from Silva. As soon as Jimenez went off, Fulham looked so much better in the final third. Pattern play. Unbelievable play from Fulham. Although, if that's the case, wasn't it bad from Silva that he didn't start Muniz in the first place? Such a shame. Our defense, including Sanchez, was very good until the last 10 minutes. Our defense is shockingly poor. I don't know if it's the inverted fullbacks or our centre-backs stepping too high, but there's always so much space, no one covering the back post, etc. Soccer and This is my big problem. I don't necessarily agree on a whole that our defense is shockingly poor, but oh my God, we cannot defend the far post. Oh my God, every week, whether it was against Arsenal, whether it was against Everton, whether it was against Brentford, whether it was tonight, every game we play, there is at least one, most of the time 2 or 3 moments in a game where there's somehow a cross to the back stick and there is no one there from Chelsea, but 2, sometimes 3 opposition players. How this happens nearly every game, absolutely beyond me. Beyond me how we keep doing that. Like it's a disgrace. It's genuinely a disgrace that this keeps happening. Like we must stop doing this. We must. I mean, you've just gone too far again, but sure. JP, not happy. Records are meant to be broken. Yeah, I guess. Shocking. Maresca to blame. Yeah, I genuinely believe Maresca is to blame today. A disgrace, an absolute farce. I knew these last 2 games were tricky, but we should be getting 4 points. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maresca says players have a chance in the B team to play in the Premier League is BS. Yeah, exactly. There's 3 about that do, and that's Neto or Madueke, whichever one isn't in the main team. And then maybe if Mudryk wasn't doping banned, then you'd have Mudryk maybe instead of Sancho, depending on opposition. But all the others don't even get a look in. Well, with defensive injuries now, Tosin has got a look in and stuff. But that's it. Sanchez, yeah, you said that already. I'd bring on Q. Yeah, exactly, Socran. I 1000% agree. I said this on our podcast the other week. By the way, link to mine and Pice's podcast, Chelsea Unfiltered. Link is down in the description. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. Can't even speak. Apple Podcasts. Link is down in the description. Like I say, last episode came out 2 days ago. New episode will be next Tuesday, and we will be fuming. But I said it in this episode. Bring Guy. I'd so much rather Guy on over Nkunku. Nkunku is a waste of space and a waste of time. Again, I feel a bit harsh because he nearly scored an absolute worldy equalized at the very, very end. But still, outside of that moment, he did absolutely fuck all, like he does every game. Both of Fulham substitutes scored. No, it's true. But why didn't he start him? Do you know what I mean? Silva schooled Maresca. It's interesting. We're going to look at this. We're going to take a look at this, how they set up and what I think at least, and I'm no expert on this part, what I think was kind of the issue for us today. Maresca's been absolutely terrible with substitutes, both in the Everton and the Fulham game. Yeah, no, I agree, Flynn. I 100% agree. Oh, let me change my picture. Although we could just go with Lewis's picture, couldn't we? We're just the chill guy. No, but you know what? I need to change it now. I'm going to change it while you can't see me because I'm sorry. Now, I'm not chill today. I'm not a chill guy at all today and right now. Like, piss off, man. Piss off. It just infuriates me. But yeah. So obviously part of the subs is injuries, right? The fact that and bans, right? Mudryk obviously unavailable. Madueke today unavailable. We have no one in midfield, so we can't really shift things around because our only midfield on the bench is just Caicedo. And then also Maresca thinks it's a good idea, like Poch last year and Potter the year before. I don't know why they keep doing it. 2 goalkeepers on the bench instead of adding a second centre mid. Like this, Caicedo was our only centre mid. Now, I'm not saying if you put Rakzaki on the bench and you bring him on that fixes the game for us or any of that. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is that you're costing yourself options, and it pisses me off. And also, how badly are we missing Wesley Fofana? We are an absolute disgrace without Fofana. At least when Fofana is there, the whole backstick defending is a little bit less of an issue. Felix will never play again for Sancho. Probably not. I mean, Sancho playing 90 minutes again today. Neto playing 90 minutes again. I mean, we just didn't have options. The only options was either Felix for the wing or Tyreek George. So I get why he was hesitant, but you need to just take them off. They're a singer. Don't know what that means, but anyway, same way Chelsea felt Salah was a flop until he joined Liverpool is the same way they are treating Nkunku, at least. Except Nkunku is 27 years old, bro. He's 27. So Chelsea sold Salah when he was, 22? Not the same, bro. Not the same at all. Some of these players were horror for most of the game, my God. We didn't even invert today, I don't think. I don't know. We did. That's so true. I don't know what part is so true, but I appreciate it. Hello, mate. I do feel, I love you, Clutch. You know that. I hope you're doing good. But I do feel it's very typical of you. As soon as we lose, you're back. Come on, bro. Turn up when we're winning. Turn up when we're happy. Neto basically play right back. Yeah, he did. And it's a problem. I don't understand why we kept getting exposed in the flanks. It's baffling. And Gusto 10, well, I'm not sure I agree with that part, but I know what you mean. Their wingers hit behind our fullbacks all game. And Nkunku's shit as striker. Never want to see it again. Why the ball? Why the hell did we make one bloody sub? I don't know. I can see us getting tired and overrun. The only one he substitutes is Nkunku, who has been terrible. Nkunku looks like he doesn't want to be here. Just wanders around pretending to press. Exactly. Failure to finish chances. No proper number 9. Too much expected from Caicedo. think that no proper number 9 is a bit harsh. I think Jackson had a very good game in general. It's a bit unlucky in one finishing situation, if I'm honest. I thought Jackson in general had a good game, which makes it even more disgraceful that he was subbed off. Everton was not okay. The game should never been played. Those were the conditions for a wild conspiracy from the Premier League because Liverpool got game called off. I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one for sure. Very similar to the Everton game. The only difference was that Palmer had a better game, but only for a bit. Because, my God, Palmer had also stinking parts of this game. Since the Ghent game, also Arsenal the back post every game. Yeah, Ghent as well. True. Pick up yourself, bro. Thank you, Mazza. What happened to possession ball, grind out 1-0 win if you can't kill the game off? Naive from Maresca and players today. Yeah, exactly. It was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. Apologies. I was puking into my neighbour's dog bowl. Good job. Unless your neighbour's dog is a nice dog. That's a bit harsh now. It's not his fault, is it? Not bringing on Felix when Sancho and Neto were so poor. Yeah, exactly. How close are we to Maresca out? Just checking. Well, very, 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 very far. Obviously. What a question. Not close. Yeah, exactly. Just checking. Fair enough. Move Palmer to the right, but Felix in the 10 could be an option at the end. It could be, but not today. Not today. With how much defending the right wing had to do, that was not an option today. Not going to lie, I didn't even anyone play today, bro. You're out of the loop, my guy. There's always games on Boxing Day, man. But I hope you had a nice Christmas, my bro. I hope you had a nice Christmas. Yes, it is Boxing Day. We had no clue how to penetrate a lazy back line. We played scared. I don't think they were a lazy back line. I think Fulham played a good game. But, you know, Maresca plays not to lose, not to win. Well, I disagree with that. If attacking options were limited, he should have shored up the defense. Yeah, but we don't have any good defenders on the bench either because all our good defenders are injured. Like, would you have wanted to bring on Disassi? I mean, Achapong, sure, but it's not exactly going to change things. Gusto has honestly been underwhelming this season. Can't pass, can't cross, can't defend. Yeah, at the moment. And this game, last game, poor. Really poor. The wingers stunk up the gaff today. I'm absolutely fuming at Pedro Neto right now. We look lost in attack without Madueke. All I know about the Prem is Chelsea second and City suck. Pretty accurate, but City got a point today at least. We didn't. I thought Jackson was poor, although that wasn't just his fault. Fair enough. Maresca is on fraud watch, bit far. Gusto getting babysitting from Neto, class effort from Pedro. The guy was exhausted by the end. Yes, he was. Prescott out. We need explanation of João Felix and Madueke expeditiously. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure none is either ill or injured, but yeah. Maresca out after one game. It's crazy. Yeah, it is. Right? Back to reality. That's what it feels like, H, isn't it? That's truly what it feels like. Selling Nkunku in January is absolutely useless. Give you game time. Yeah, no, I agree. Again, we might be speaking very differently if Leno didn't pull off that absolute monster save at the very end, and Nkunku scored one of the best goals I've ever seen. Because that attempt, how high he got, was outrageous. That was mental. But let's look at our team today. Now, actually, let me go to FOTMob first. Let's look at the stats overall. Let me quickly update this because it usually takes a little while to be fully accurate. But yeah, I mean, we lost on XG, so we very much deserve to lose. Even though we had the chances, obviously, Cucurella's header, that near wonderful team goal just before halftime, that Jackson and Palmer kind of like back and forth moment where we could have done more. Obviously, Colwell made it 2-0 in the second half, but it was offside. So yeah, they in the end had more shots on target than we did. Same number of big chances in total. So it wasn't great. But going to the lineup, now Fulham turned up with a back five today, but they didn't really play with a back five. They kind of played, well, to be honest, they played a 3-4-3. And what I think it did is both in Castagne and in Robinson. Now, to be honest, I haven't looked at the average positions, but certainly on the left side. They had two wingers, essentially, on both sides. And what that meant is they dragged both of our wingers so far back, in particular Neto. Neto did have to do so much defending. Neto's average position must have been so deep because he constantly had to check for Iwobi and Robinson, and even Bassi, right? Like Calvin Bassi, hit that run he made in the first half through all of our players. It was unbelievable. But then I looked at that line, I was like, hold up, he's a centre-back? Are you wild? But yeah, I think that's what Marco Silva and Fulham did well today, and that's what made us struggle, in particular the longer the game went on. Because they essentially played a 3-4-3 for me, they forced our wingers back. And the way we create pressure is having the winger passing option. But you could tell Neto's position was so deep. Even when we were in possession, he wasn't high up creating width. He wasn't hugging the touchline. He was so far back. Often Gusto going higher up. Enzo Fernandez going higher up. It was wild, if I'm honest. It was wild at times. Like, Honestly, I'm furious. And we just didn't find a solution. Now, again, if you go to our bench, limited. Obviously, 2 goalkeepers. Then we've got Disasi and Achapong. Caicedo are on the midfield. And then you've got Felix, Gio, George, and Nkunku. So it's not the same. And look at the injury list. Dewsbury Hall supposedly injured. Madueke supposedly ill. Like on the football. Badiashile injured, Reece injured, Wesley Fofana injured, Romeo Lavia still injured, so never any midfield options. But I personally think, and obviously, please, ladies and gentlemen, explain to me what you think, why this may or may not have happened. But yeah, I think because Fulham essentially had 2 wingers, or a winger and a wing back, that meant not only was our fullbacks required to defend, because obviously in possession we have a back 3 shape. So, but one of our fullbacks is one of the centre backs. So that meant especially the right winger had to defend so much, because they were essentially not attacking with 1 winger but 2 at times. And yeah, it was just not good at all. It was just really, really not good. Puzzle Life, the problem, if you noticed, is that Maresca never substitutes first. He waits for the opposition to substitute first. That's not true, because we've made multiple halftime substitutions already this season. But recently that has been the case, absolutely. This lost us the game. It was all too late and too retroactive. Well, I can't fully agree with that, because after their first subs, first of all, we're still 1-0 up. We made a sub still at 1-0 up. And it all fell apart in the last 10 minutes of the game. So I'm not sure if it would, obviously their 2 subs scored. I get that. And obviously they started to build more and more pressure towards the end. They were whipping in cross after cross after cross, right? And we were struggling to get out, struggling to keep possession. But we were like stuck in 2 minds today. There was a moment in the first half we could have started a counter-attack, and you could see Enzo Maresca from the sideline screaming to Cucurella to calm it down, passed it back to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo tries to pass it over to Neto, gets intercepted. So I'm like, so we stopped the counter-attack to play it cool, to calm the game down, and we give it away 1 pass later. So that's not bloody going to help, is it? Mazda says, no, sell Felix, keep Nkunku. No, I disagree. Get rid. For sub-roll 10, get a competitive striker who can help Jackson. So they went back to the Palmer show, top 4, dogfight. We will be there. Yeah, I still don't think we'll have that much trouble. But at the moment, obviously, not great. Absolutely not great. Let me quickly try to turn off my Wi-Fi and get to cable connection. So for a second, you might not see me, but I will be back. Trust me. Just the connection doesn't seem as stable. Give me a second. So I hope you can see me again. Thank you for not going anywhere. Muet says, do you have any suggestions in transfer window? Well, I think we need a centre-back. Genuinely, I believe we need a left-back, because we only have Cucurella. Whenever it's not Cucurella, we are screwed. And I think we need a striker. I think we need a backup striker. Like, we need to fix it. And I don't think we need to get rid of Jackson at all. I think Jackson must remain our number 1 striker, but we need a backup. Didn't understand Neto being so deep. Yeah, I didn't fully understand it either, but I still, I think my explanation is why, but I could be wrong. It looked like potch ball today at times. And then Maresca tried to calm us down, but it made it worse. It was weird. It should have been a 1-0 win today. Not happy. Thought Sanchez was good. Enzo tried. Cucurella good. Sancho, same old predictable stuff. Caicedo was good, but we're missing killer instinct in front of goal. What I will say is, I know Cole Palmer is him. Cole Palmer truly is him, clutch. We need a more clinical striker. But I don't think Jackson was the issue today. There's no point in Nkunku being here if he's cosplaying as the striker. But I will reiterate this, and I said this on our Minor Pisces podcast last episode. Nkunku has played a lot in the number 10 in the Conference League. At the beginning of the season, he played striker in the Conference League. But the last 3 or 4 Conference League games, Nkunku started as the number 10 because Gio was the striker. And was there a single Conference League game where you thought Nkunku was our best player? And he should be. He should be. And a goalkeeper, sure, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Tired of Sanchez, long balls to no one. Yeah, no, I'm fuming. Sanchez, for all those good saves he makes, always has that Boza moment in him. And today he nearly had 2 Boza moments. But yeah, he literally did cost us points. I want a new striker. Jackson can be... No. Jackson needs to be first choice. Midfield was badly organized. Maresca got it wrong. Left too much for Caicedo to do. Yeah, I mean, let's shift it to how I thought we played. I mean, maybe I will get Sofa score ready just to hope and see what the average positions were. Because it was a bit wild at times, but you should be able to see that on the screen now. So that's how I think we essentially lined up. A back three in possession, then a midfield diamond of Caicedo at the base, Cucurella to the left, Enzo to the right, Parmes the number 10. And then once we got very high, essentially creating like almost a 5 behind the striker like this. And then in particular Gusto, but also Kobo, almost creating a bit like this. Maybe you can call it like this more, and a box defense, and a box 4 at the end. Something in between those two. It was very fluid. In moments it was this, in moments it was that type thing. But the base principle of it was essentially a diamond in midfield. And often Neto down here, Palmer was too much on the left, in my opinion, and then also standing in the way with Cucurella. Now, should have had an assist with that, to be fair. Or should have had an assist, but had an assist to Kobo that got ruled out for offside. But yeah, this was our shape. And yeah, oh my God, I'm annoyed today, guys, man. I'm annoyed. Why? Like, the 2 games around Christmas are the 2 games we bottle. I don't understand why Nkunku looks like he's not working. I don't get it either. Jackson had a shocker. I would have pulled him half-time and flung that Terry Aguirre on. I disagree. I thought Jackson had a good game. I thought Jackson linked up really, really well, was really, really strong in the duel. And we will look at the stats. I could be very wrong, but I felt like he was given so many bad passes, so many difficult balls to chase on his own, so many balls to hold up on his own, to wait for anyone to come and help him. But yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, you already said they're not going to lie. Enzo needs to go back to the left and Palmer more on the right. I thought Enzo was good today, though. There was also times when Enzo was all of a sudden off the left, but also in times Nkunku was winning headers against their defense while Jackson couldn't. Nkunku was winning one header and then falling on the floor, not winning it. While Jackson is like, okay, if I win the header, there's no one around me, so I'm not going to keep the ball. So I need to let him win the header and then get the ball as it comes down, which is why Jackson keeps the ball so much. Yeah, Palmer left, Enzo right is not it. I mean, it works in games, but doesn't work always. And when it doesn't work, we need to just change it. Maresca not making any intake subs is very shocking. Yeah, the problem is, and please put it in the chat, everybody, but please put it in the chat who you would have brought on that you truly believe would have really helped, if that makes sense. Clutch says, if Nkunku is going to be used as a 10 or 9, then he was never going to work. Well, yeah, we signed him when that wasn't the case, and then we got a manager where that now is the case. And yeah, since then, we all knew kind of Nkunku was kind of done. I believe I expressed concern when this first happened. Yeah, no, exactly. He needs to be a second striker, and if he's not a second striker, he's useless. Bad passing all around today, yeah, 100%. We definitely don't provide Jackson with enough service. Enzo and Caicedo both played well. They weren't the issue today, I agree. We needed to overlapping right back, would have been nice. I mean, you can call for that, but if you have an overlapping right back, that means, either less crowded in midfield and less able to sustain pressure there. And then you still have to have crosses into Jackson or Nkunku, both used as at it, into a box full of 6 Fulham defenders, which is kind of the problem. Gil, yeah, Felix for Sancho. You're all alone today, my friend. Yes, Clutch. Obviously, you don't tune in very regularly, but I have actually gone to doing post-match streams on my own because I feel like I can interact with the chat more. And also, I got a bit tired of asking people to be available because sometimes then people couldn't, and then last second I had to cancel, and then their microphone didn't work, or all sorts of weird reasons that sometimes happen. So yeah, I'd have brought on Felix for Sancho and you for Jackson. Yeah, I would have tried that. To be honest, I would have just left Jackson on the pitch. I think it's outrageous that Jackson never plays midweek, but still never plays 90 minutes. Makes no sense to me. I'm not saying Enzo is a problem. Just think Palmer is so much better off the right. Valid. Setup was the issue today. Looked lost second half. Yeah, but weirdly, only after the first 10 minutes of the second half, the very beginning of the second half, I thought was phenomenal. Yeah, kind of, I guess. But also it makes my stream shorter. So, make of that what you will. Let's go into these player ratings, guys. Let's go into these player ratings because I'm annoyed, but also the more I waffle here, the less annoyed I obviously get. So Sanchez, yeah, he made 5 saves. Let's be honest, he made a couple of very strong saves at the well, not at the near post, but a shot from his near post to his far post, which was a good save from the centre-back, actually, from Fulham. So fair enough. That was a strong save. A couple of other decent saves as well, catching crosses quite well too. But this one, 2 out of 14 long balls. Now, the last long ball, that is a Sanchez problem, that he didn't kick it long enough, that he shouldn't have kicked it long there, which is what we conceded 2-1 from. But let's be honest, I would have been nearly this angry had with the 1-1 draw just as much. So sure, it's another point lost. Sure, but the other conceded goal was 2 points lost, right? But the main issue for me is the plan. Like Maresca keeps going on about, if Sanchez doesn't do what I ask him to do, he will get dropped. But he hasn't been dropped. So every game that Sanchez kicks long balls, that tells us this was instruction from Maresca. And I do not understand those long balls. I do not understand. There was no one anywhere near the long ball. Like, sometimes he got it in the rough area of Jackson, but even if he did, there was no one anywhere near Jackson to win the loose ball. Supposedly, according to Potmob, he is injured, but I'm not sure. But also, let's be honest, Tuchel wouldn't have helped us, would he? Please let them sell Nkunku. He is lazy. Sanchez 6. Hit the likes. Laurenz deserves. Yes, Uzaya. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like button. That would be massively appreciated. Hi, Daniel. Hope you're well. Tosin was right there for flip's sake. Why the fuck is he even... What the fuck is he even doing there? Is he even going long? Aha, sorry. Tosin was right there. Why the fuck is he even going long there? But why the fuck is Sanchez going long there? Without the mistake, Sanchez 9. Sanchez might be a bit far, but yeah. Sanchez needs to be sold. His long ball led straight to the last goal, combined with defenders jogging back out of position. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But by the time when Sanchez hit the long ball, we were obviously going for it to still win the game, right? Because obviously we had conceded the equalizer. So everybody was going up. But then when you play a long ball like that isn't going far enough, it just kills you. You can't complain about long balls when you kept complaining about the short pass. No, I can. I sure can, Joel, because I want a goalkeeper that if they short pass, don't make mistakes short passing. And if they go long balls, have some sense to them. Because it's pointless. Like, no, you can have it both ways. You literally can, because in games, in moments, you need to play a long ball. In moments, you need to play a short ball. But in some games, he overdoes it with the short balls and makes mistakes with those. And then in other games, like today, he overdoes it with the long balls and makes mistakes with those. In my opinion, anyway. At 1-0, we needed some pressing energy for short view worth a shout. 100%. 100%. That's what we should have done. We should have sat a bit deeper. We should have just hold a bit more shape and try to counter-attack at the end. And I don't understand why we didn't do that. Maresca is just a coward, always delaying subs. I don't think that makes him a coward. I think if anything, he trusts his players a bit too much sometimes. Because yeah, I think we should have been, if you want to use the word cowardly, but I think we should have been more cowardly and more pragmatic for the end of the game. Like, obviously, until the 75th minute or whatever, you chase a second goal, you try to kill the game. But at the very end, you can't allow yourself to get counter-attacked to lose the 3 points. Like, just sit on the 1-0, man. Maresca mismanaged this game, failed to rotate players, failed to make changes when it was glaring. Even Maresca himself is not ready for the title race apart from the team. I agree with that last sentence 100%. I'm not sure about rotating players being the issue, if I'm honest, but yeah. Nkunku is playing like a player that doesn't want to be at Chelsea. Sell him. For people asking why Felix wasn't introduced, Felix would have got bodied by Fulham. They're extremely physical. But that hasn't been the case for Felix at all. Remember the game that Felix played, was it against Leicester? They're physical. It was brilliant. He played a really, really good game in his last time he played in the Premier League. He was one of our best players that day, and hasn't seen the day of light since. Obviously, he was ill in the meantime, but still, it's a really bad take to blame Sanchez for today. No, I agree with that. It's not Sanchez overall, but that second goal is 1,000% on Sanchez. It's literally not on anybody else. If you kick it long, you need to kick it far enough. Like, watch your back, Joe. He just didn't kick it far enough. And that's why it got so easily intercepted by Fulham. And then there was only 2 players behind to stop anything. Felix should have been on for Enzo. I mean, you could have done that, but I thought Enzo was one of our best players, if I'm honest. Player scores, this will be easy, this game. 5 across the board, as no one turned up. Laters all have a great New Year's Eve. Yeah, you have a great New Year's Eve too. I hope everybody had a nice Christmas at least. But a Poch type game today, innit? Yeah, but Maresca tried to not let it be that, which is what frustrated me. When in actuality, in those moments, we probably should have gone for it. Well, when we're playing Nkunku out of position, I'm not surprised he can't be asked. I said it for a while ago, he's going to be our next target. Yeah, he might be. But again, I reiterate my point that I made a couple of minutes ago. In a conference league, and sure, you can argue number 10 isn't this position either. But if your only position in football is second striker, you're going to have a tough job playing in your best position very often. Because think about it, how many teams in the world still play 2 strikers? Very, very few. So if your only real position is second striker, a bit like the issue for Kai Havertz, really, you're going to have issues. And I think Nkunku is having that same problem. And like I say, in the Conference League, he's played number 10 a lot, and it's been awful every time. It seems that Chelsea have a lot of similar players and can't use them all. That sounds weirdly familiar. Yeah, in some positions that is the case. In some others, it's not. Enzo was good. I just think we needed Felix quality on the ball laws. No, I agree. I just wouldn't have brought him on for Enzo purely to keep Enzo on the pitch. I probably would have just taken Sancho off and either made Cucurella go wide because there wasn't much happening from the wide areas anyway. So you might as well have done that. But there you go. Palmer was clearly physically tired. It's obvious. He was holding his waist before halftime while playing for 90 minutes. Well, if he's tired, he needs to get a grip on himself and have less chippy chips on Christmas because the guy has not played a single midweek game all season. All season. He's not allowed. He does not have the right to be tired. Absolutely not. I know you don't like him, but imagine we'd had Osimhen on the bench to come on. Yeah, it would have been nice, but you don't have £100 million players on the bench. Would have just made Jackson useless. That's what he would have done. Derby on Boxing Day at home. Performance was not good today. No, exactly. Your honest opinion on Palmer, except from that brilliant moment, I personally felt he was not firing on all cylinders today. Maresca needs to find solutions against low block teams. I mean, he does need to find solutions against low block teams, but then I'm like, well, we scored one goal. We had an absolute sitter from Cucurella, which was difficult because it's a flying header, but still could have been a goal. We scored another one that was offside, where if Colwell stays onside, we score. We had a couple of nearly really nice team goal moments. Obviously, that Enzo Fernandez long shot as well. My honest opinion on Palmer is weird because when the game started, and I missed the first 2 minutes, but when the game started, I thought, bloody hell, he's on it today. Then he scored that goal, and then he was right on it, and then he started going bad. Then that weird kind of over-the-top ball to Jackson where he chipped it, and Jackson was like 5 meters in front of him, but he hit a 30-yard pass out of play for a goal line clearance, for a goal kick. Yeah, literally, innit? Imagine. Yeah, but would you have wanted that? I mean, obviously, this kind of game, you would rather the type of Osimhen striker to start, but I still think Jackson was decent. I don't really want to get into an Osimhen conversation because I hate the guy. I mean, why is Cucurella so high all the time? How is that not Maresca's fault? Well, because he's fantastic at doing it. Because he's one of the only ones that is actually able to sustain the pressure, to know when to tackle, know when to be aggressive. I mean, he scored in his last 2 games and could have scored, should have scored today. Palmer should have had an assist as well if Colwell stays on. Yep, absolutely. Jackson is not so good that he must start and play every Premier League game. Oh, he absolutely is. And Nkunku doesn't deserve to be even on the bench. That's how shit Nkunku has been. Nkunku deserves to be like fined for how bad he is. Not come on every game. That's what I think. Let's not do this Osimhen rubbish, please. He's not that guy at all. No, I agree. But yeah, back to Sanchez. Poor long ball. Good saves though. So in total, he cost us at the end. Let's be honest, he did. I'll give him a 6 though, because I would have given him probably an 8 had we won this game 1-0. So I'll give him a 6. And we move on to our defenders. Now, Tosin, obviously, where is he at now? Yeah, Turkey. He plays for Galatasaray, bro. And he's saying there how he's still worth 100 million. I'm like, okay, guy, okay. He's, by the way, Osimhen has the highest missed XG in all of Europe. Just telling you. Anyway, Tosin, 5 mistakes pass is okay. Just the backstick part defending isn't good enough. Otherwise, I thought you had a decent game. Can't complain too much. 3 out of 6 long balls, all right. 1 or 2 tackles, sure. 2 out of 3 ground duels, 1 or 3 aerial duels. Could be a bit better. I think Tosin was decent. What did people make of Tosin? I'd probably just give him like a 6 or something. I mean, CJ is saying 4. Did he do anything so bad that you're giving him a 4? Played the Fulham players on side for the second goal. I thought that was Colwell. Are you sure it was Fulham? Sure it was Tosin? I'm not sure. Maresca has to stop being overconfident. What he today was the same mistake he made against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup game. Okay, what was that? Yeah, kind of. Tosin played the Fulham players on side for the second goal. Was it? Yeah, you said that before. But he was okay. 6. Yeah, the last goal was on him, Jim. But are you sure? Because that last goal was on Jackson for sure. Not like, even if anyone's playing anybody on the side, it's not on Tosin. Yeah, true. But you can't blame Tosin. Like, no, you can't. Like, you can't expect Tosin to be as high as Colwell and Gusto were in that moment, because, like, they were so high because you were trying to pressure. But you can't have your whole back 3 that high, obviously. But the long ball just shouldn't go to the opponent, and then because then you have exactly that problem. So, but yeah, no, it's true. They think he's clinical. Guy needs to stop thinking. Yeah. Anyway, as we lost, no one gets more than an 8. No one's getting anywhere near it. I don't know what you're smoking, but all we need is a world-class centre back and a world-class goalkeeper next summer. We should be all set. Also a bit controversial, but I'll tell James for an offer anywhere near 50 million plus. But you're not getting an offer for 50 million plus, bro. And we signed a striker, and we need more DMs just for backup. Yeah, we need quite a few things. Tosin saw Sanchez go long. He should have sprinted not to get Fulham players on forwards. I mean, I hear that. I hear what you're saying with that. But if he does that and gets caught out and they're still onside, then you slate him. There's no winning in that situation. That, like, Joe, it's kind of ridiculous that you're defending Sanchez, but saying Tosin's at fault for not expecting Sanchez shit pass. I'm sorry, bro. That's wildly off the mark. Anyway, Tosin, yeah, I'll give him a 6. I probably could go a bit lower, but I'll give him a 6. Colwell got himself an assist. He obviously got the assist for the Palmer goal. Now, obviously, 99% of that goal is on Cole Palmer and not on Colwell, but still officially counts as an assist. Scored an offside goal. We should have stayed onside, obviously. Now, if we're being honest, had he stayed onside, would he have got to the ball? Probably not. So it's not like had he stayed onside, he would have scored and the goal would have stood. It's more like had he stayed onside, he might not have got the ball. But yeah, I mean, the passing was decent. There was a couple of moments where I wasn't particularly happy with his defending. 2 out of 3 long balls, sure. 2 out of 3 tackles, nice, I guess. 4 out of 5 duels is pretty good, actually. Or is good, actually. 3 out of 7 air duels is okay. I'll give Colwell a little bit less. I'll give Colwell 5.5. Do people think I should give him a 5? Because I don't think he should be getting a 5. Now, you know what? I'll change them all. I'll give Colwell a 5, and I'll give Tosin a 5.5 because we bottled it too hard, and I can't be dealing with that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you're the last line defender, it's your job to be aware of what's around you. Yes, but at what point do you think he can tell that the ball's too short? As it's going over his head? And do you think he can run as fast as the ball can? Because by that point, he has, like, say, a second and a half to cover, 20 yards more? Risky business. And especially once they do turn it, once they do overturn possession, then he has to turn. Have you seen Tosin with his 6'8" or whatever he is? Good luck him turning and still catching back up. But anyway, it was lack of organization that I blame Tosin for. He's the experienced one. He's experienced at Fulham. That's not fucking experience, is it? Tosin... Oh, yeah, you said that. I reacted to that. Yeah, I'll give Cole a 5, Tosin a 5.5. And now I need to come to Malagusto because it's becoming a bit of a problem now. What is his defending? Why hasn't he grasped the concept of a far post yet? Why not? Like, obviously, he wasn't full on always the right centre back, like I said already. Some partly we created kind of a this one. And then Gusto kind of almost falling in these areas. Then Enzo jumping up deeper and Gusto filling that role, which that was, aggressive, offensive, everything. But the defending at the far post is a disgrace, and it's a liability. If I'm honest, it's a liability, and I'm not happy with it. I'm really not happy with it. Let's bring his stats up and see what we think about that. Has there been anything interesting said post game yet? Let me look. Yeah. Not much, honestly. Sorry, I was just quiet for a second, but that's what I was on to stream by myself. But yeah, let me bring up Gusto and let's look at the stats. Now, passing is okay, 7 misplaced passes. I'm not going to be too mad about 88%. The crosses, the long balls, tackles, ground duels okay, but honestly, I thought he was a massive liability. He was out of position. He was choosing the wrong moments for when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive. It's just all wrong. And the defending of the far post, that on its own is such a problem for me. I honestly, I can't believe that it keeps being a problem every week. Like, because Maresca is very much a fan of details, right? Maresca is the guy that's going to not tell the players, make sure don't forget about the far post. That's not Maresca, is it? But the fact that this keeps happening nearly every week, where the central centre-back is like, turns around and then there's no one there. And it's like, do you not turn around beforehand? Like, whoever is the central centre-back is the guy that's supposed to command the others. Today, Tosin, sometimes Colwell. you need to tell your players where to be. Obviously, Gusto should know on his own, but the whole defensive setup, the whole organization for these far post balls, it's just a disgrace. Like, honestly, Gusto, good legs, good technique, good everything, but at the moment he's not helping offensively. He's making mistakes defensively. It's annoying me. It's annoying me, but obviously we're in a position. Gusto is 21 years old. Gusto should like Gusto is now playing as instead of Wesley Fofana. So not only is he already been having to play instead of Reece James because he's never fit, he's now also having to become the backup to Wesley Fofana because he's also never fit. And we realized, oh shit, we didn't actually buy any half decent other right centre back. The one we had is Trevor Chalobah, but we decided to get rid of him. Maybe Reece James was earmarked as that backup to Wesley Fofana, but did you bank on those two injury-prone players to cover two positions? Sounds mental. But anyway, I'm not happy with Gusto. I'm giving him a 4. We come on to Caicedo, and Caicedo is another one where I might not be as full of praise as a lot of you have been today. Not that I think he was bad. His passing was good. His defending was good. His tackling was good. But 12 misplaced passes, too much. And there was some bad misplaced passes today. Some really bad ones that I really didn't like. Some easy ones, some difficult ones, some bad decisions. I was not a fan. That's okay, though. 2 out of 4 long balls. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. The duels are very much along the lines of Caicedo very often. The only thing is that he was only in 7. That's slightly surprising. Usually he's in more duels than that. Because he was very good off the ball, I'm going to give him a 6. But on the ball, he was poor, so I'm remaining at that 6 and not pushing it higher. Yeah, I miss Pies too. Tune into mine and Pies' podcast. Links down in the description. For you to get Pies and Laurenz content. But yeah, Pies obviously doing his own streaming after games, which is why we don't get him online here. Pies Bomber. Sorry, what happened? Wow. A bit blown away by that. I'm going to show you guys this now. Maresca said Madueke was dropped due to a technical decision, not an injury. Wow. What do we say to that, guys? What do we say? Because on the one hand, I respect the manager being strict and demanding when it comes to expectations for levels of training, for levels of performances. I actually respect that in itself. But when Mudryk is banned for doping, and you refuse to use João Felix, and you also refuse to use Tyreek George, and it ended up with us having to play Sancho and Neto, both of them kind of, you could touch, and both of them kind of having poor games, both good off the ball, but both relatively poor on the ball. And then you chose not to have Madueke on the bench. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what it is. But Madueke better have done something really significant for him to drop him out of the squad. Drop him to the bench? Sure. Drop him out of the squad in our position? Obviously, we don't know what he did. So it's very difficult to judge that. But, yeah. A little bit. There was a video of him partying with Bellingham. Not sure if it was recent or clickbait. Was there now? I didn't even see that. So let's see whether that's true or not. The CJ said, oh, that's calm. No big deal. He wouldn't have made a difference anyway. I mean, sure. But then we can't complain about Maresca not making subs if we're saying the subs wouldn't have made a difference anyway. But this is wild. And I'm shocked by that. Shocked. I got to say, I am shocked by that. Now, someone said they would give Caicedo a below average rating. No, I think he was a little better than Tosin. I think there was too many good off the ball moments to give him below average rating. But I'll give him a 6. I move on to Marco Correa. I mean, I can react to more of what you guys think. Cobble is poor, okay. If Felix good. Why not play him? We need a centre back in January. Yeah. Average. How can 7 be average between 0 and 10? It's already being like kind of wrong to say 6 is average, but that's, I guess, when you do between 1 and 10. But we don't. We also give zeros. So even already saying 6 is the average is already nice, but 7 is definitely not the average. Let me go to Cuckoo stats. I'm not really sure what I made of Cuckoo today. Yeah, but no one wants to do a 0.5 for the average, isn't it? Yeah, he obviously had that corner, that header that he should have scored with. That one got blocked. Probably should have done a bit better with that. Only 3 misplaced passes, so he was good. One shot. Okay, 1 out of dribble, 1 out of long ball. 1 out of 5 ground duels, 0 out of 2 aerial duels. I'll give Cuckoo a 6.5. Because I think he made less mistakes in possession than Caicedo did, but obviously he should have scored. I think his pace performance probably warrants a 7, but he should have scored. So I'll say 6.5. Honestly, these kind of games where I'm like, for 60 minutes, I was pretty happy with the majority of this game. Now, I'm not saying we were amazing, but if people know Boxing Day games are either crazy because no one's at their best, or a bit boring because no one's at their best. They're rarely the highest level of game. That's kind of just how it is. But I was all right with it for the first 60 minutes. But the last half an hour was just so bad. Enzo Fernandez, though, for me, gets a highest rating. I'll give Enzo Fernandez a 7.5. I look at his stats now to potentially change my mind. But I'll give Enzo Fernandez a 7.5. I hope Misha stuff didn't affect our players. Maybe. 7 is good. 7 for... the legendary 0, yeah, exactly. 7 is good. 7 for Cuckoo. I mean, I could give it to him, but I think I'm going to go 7.5. 6.5 for him and 7.5 for Enzo. Let me look at Enzo's stats again. I might lower him back down to a 7. We'll see. Obviously, had that shot, great save. What a world it would have been. Unfortunately, followed up by 2 terrible crosses, first from a corner and then from the kind of follow up. Okay, 11 misplaced passes, but obviously playing a lot higher. That was, other than one, that wasn't rarely where I'm like, that was a bad misplaced pass. You know what I mean? 2 successful dribbles is pretty good. Accurate crosses, how's that true then? He literally crossed the ball to Cucurella for Cucurella's huge chance. So how can he have 0 crosses? Now, it was a free kick, but he still crossed from that free kick. So I don't understand that. 3 out of 5 long balls, all right. 2 out of 2 tackles is good. 4 out of 13 ground duels isn't great, but obviously quite high up. Now, what do people think about Enzo? Would you give him a 7 or a 7.5, guys? Let me know. What would you give Enzo Fernandez? Like I say, I've gone 7 now, but I've gone 7.5, but I might be willing to take it down to a 7. So get involved. Back in my day, those zeros were given like candy on Halloween. Yeah, yes, they were, bro. I mean, you're saying your days, it kind of like depended, and you're obviously still around at the beginning of the end for us, obviously. Recently, we've kind of fixed ourselves a little bit. But yeah, it's a tough one. Time to come out of retirement, Clutch. Yeah, exactly. Bit off topic, but how did you and Pys become mates? That is a good question. I don't even know. We must have got talking somehow on Twitter, and then I invited him to a stream of mine, and then he streamed with me regularly. Then I added him to a group chat. We became mates. Then I asked him if he wanted to do a podcast. He said, yes, let's do it. And here we are. But yeah, just over time. I've spoken to Pys for a long time now, many, many years. Big up Pys. Love Pys. My bro. Honestly. Also love Clutch, by the way. Love you, bro. Anyways, no one has so far told me that they think 7.5 for Enzo is too high, unless Uzaya meant Enzo and not Cucurella, which I'm not sure about. But there you go. More Music says, only our players can make all goalkeepers look so good. Well, I think Leno did make a couple of really good saves against Enzo and against Nkunku at the very end. I think you've got to give him that. I think you have to. But yeah, so I'll give Enzo 7.5. Then maybe it's a bit on the high side, but I think he was our best player. So I'll give him that. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is where it gets tricky because obviously I kind of... I will try second half of the season. Well, it depends on the Conference League draw a little bit. Maybe I'll do... maybe I'll do like a European trip instead of going to London, but maybe I'll go to London. We'll see. Depends. Clutch says, "Now it seems like we're doing better without me in the scene. I enjoy seeing Chelsea at the top. My teams always suck. Shout out Denver Broncos." Yeah. Sound lucky, bro. It's sound lucky, Clutch. But hey, don't put it on yourself. Don't put it on yourself. It's not because of you. Yeah, let's get to Coley Palmer. I had a thumbnail ready, like at halftime already. Not the full thumbnail, but kind of like, well, I thought we were playing well. I thought we'd win. And Palmer scored an outrageous goal. This goal is wild. Like, he turned into Eden Hazard. He got the ball, you know, did a little shimmy, did a little drop of the shoulder, got around him, and then kind of just passed it through the legs of the defender into the bottom corner. What an outrageous goal. And then he ruined it by not doing much after that, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah, I mean, 30 misplaced passes should be a bit better, realistically. 3 out of 4 shots on target is all well and good. 2 out of 3 dribbles is nice. At least 1 accurate cross. Obviously, there was another. I'm not sure if that is even counted in the 3, though, but that led to Cole's offside goal. 1 out of 3 long balls. All right. 6 out of 8 ground duels is pretty good going for him. What do we think, guys? Does Cole, because he scored such a good goal, does he still get a 7 or does he get a 6.5? That's what I'm deciding between, because that goal was obviously fantastic. There was moments where it was good. And, well, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 because... yeah, I'll give him a 7 because I actually think he was on it for a large part of that game. But then it kind of just fell apart in important moments, which is frustrating. Karan says Palmer 6.5 to 7 max. Probably 9 in the first half, 3-4 in the second half. Yeah. I like how it didn't have much power since he was being closed down, but the accuracy, yeah, I love that too. I absolutely love that too. Yeah, Palmer with the 7, I'll give him that. And now we get to 2 players who were very difficult to judge today. Now, one thing I want to say, before the equalizer, I don't think it was a foul on Neto, but it was the clearest of head injuries I've ever seen. Like, was it Iwobi? I don't think it was Iwobi. Whoever the Fulham player was that, you know, went into the duel with Neto, he hit Neto into the side of the head, into his temple, right here, with his elbow. Like that. Not on purpose. Like I say, I'm not saying it's a foul even. I'm not even asking them to call it back in hindsight. I don't think so, really. But the referee should have stopped the game. And why am I so adamant on that? Because there's been 2, if not 3 occasions this season where the referee have stopped clear goal-scoring opportunities for us due to, on occasion, faked head injuries by the opposition. Well, in this case, there was a clear elbow with full force at full running strength and full running speed into the temple. You know how dangerous that is? Should have been immediately stopped. Immediately. Now, would it have been lucky for us? 100%, but it's happened against us 2 or 3 times. Neto is tough, though, because offensively, well, invisible. Not even there. It's like he didn't even play. That's how much he did nothing. Defensively, though, did a big job. Now, what are we seeing here? 1 or 2 tackles, 5 out of 10 ground duels. He was tracking back like a mother flipper. Even that yellow card, Gusto was kind of caught out of position, kind of on the ground, and then you can see Neto just starting his sprint, catching the guy, trying to tackle, obviously giving the foul away, taking the yellow card, sure, but that sprint, he was like, oh shit, I need to get back and help out ASAP. But he was just too low. He was just too low all game long, and that's the part that frustrated me so much today. I'll go to lineups. And I say SofaScore is so bad on PC, by the way. SofaScore might be a great app, but SofaScore on TV is on desktop is a terrible app. Now, let me show you the average positions, though. These were average positions. Like, this is kind of our, well, this is our back 3. Caicedo kind of at the base. Then you had Enzo and Cucurella. And that's how you see how deep Neto was. There was such a gap. That gap isn't usually there. Neto's departing of it is the same pressure. He just wasn't there. And I'm not blaming Neto for this because I'm very much sure this is a Maresca instruction and the necessity due to how Fulham played. But we just weren't able to do anything more with it. You could also see how tired he was by the end, which is another one where it's like, again, we don't know what Madueke did, but it certainly cost us that he wasn't involved, whether it's Madueke's fault or whether it's Maresca's fault, but it certainly cost us that he wasn't involved. So, yeah, frustrating. Neto, oh bloody hell! I think we got the what's it called? Redirect from Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Lewis. I love you, my bro. I really do. And unfortunately, ignore the sound that you can hear. It's just my own stream playing because sometimes tabs are weird, aren't they? Yes. Thank you very much, Lewis, and thank you everybody for tuning in from Lewis. Yes, Lewis Rage. Shout out Eddie. Shout out everybody else. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and get involved. get involved with me. Tell me what you thought of Neto, because like I say, Neto did a flipping job, put a shift in defensively, but he just didn't do anything going forward. Partly due to having his position so deep, like I just showed from the average positions. So I'll give him a 6 because his true performance, I would more give like maximum a 5. But because I don't think this was directly on him, and I think he kind of tried his best with what he had, that's why I'll be nice. No, I have to get 5.5 because it was just too little. It was just too little that he offered. So I can't give him higher than that. But yeah, I mean, get involved. Obviously, guys, as you can tell, my chat is subscribers only. So if you're here, there's 200 of you here right now, hit the subscribe button. 1 minute later, not even straight away, you'll be able to get involved in the chat. And yeah, I want you to get your thoughts. Nkunku misses wide open header, Sancho wide open net. Did Sancho miss a wide open net? We didn't really see a replay of that chance, but yeah, kind of looked like that. How to break a back 5, score your flipping chances. Yeah, I mean, Cucurella's header, Colwell not being offside is really tough. It's really, really tough. And honestly, similar to what I said about Neto, applies to Sancho. Now, also put in a shift defensively, not as much as Neto, but still put in a shift defensively. But he was more threatening going forwards. Now, he still didn't have a great game. But if either of them should have played 90 minutes, I'm very adamant that it is more likely that Sancho deserved it than Neto in terms of performance. Now, this shot, it was straight at the keeper, should have been a goal. Realistically, that should have been a goal. But yeah, 6 minutes is not too bad. The dribbles, why only 2? Why only 2? This is not the game where you shouldn't be dribbling more. 0 out of 2 crosses, unfortunately not great. 1 a tackle, 2 out of 4 ground duels at least. What do I give Sancho? Because I think Neto put more of a shift in defensively, but I think Sancho was more of a threat offensively. But because he was more of a threat, there was also more moments where he did wrong. But Neto didn't have so many moments where he did wrong purely because for so much of the game, he just wasn't doing anything. And he wasn't even involved in our attacking. So just to be fair, I'll give them both a 5.5. Sancho a bit better offensively. Neto a bit better defensively. Could I give them both a 5? I definitely could. But yeah. Karan, big up, Laurenz. See you after the next game. Thank you, Karan. Big up. See you after the next one. Fulham just gave every team the blueprint to beat us. Press Gusto and Neto all game. Well, I don't think it's that simple. It also depends a lot on who we have available. And I also think we still played a pretty decent game for 60 minutes. Then we got bad, but held on for a while. And then was just poor game management from the team and the manager. I just think it's quite that clear. And bloody hell, CAA Mafia is not happy. 1.5 for Sancho. Do people agree with this? Uzaya says 5.5. Maybe I've gone too high. The coach needs to be João Felix, a very good player. And the change of system is the problem. Our team can't use players through. Sorry, Hilton. I can't fully understand what you're trying to say. Gusto turns to Disasi under pressure. Yeah, kinda. Especially when it comes to the back, defending at the far post. You know what? I changed my mind and I'll give Sancho and Neto both a 5. I think I've gone too high with a 5.5 for both. Honestly, there's a case to be made that I've gone too high for quite a lot of players here. I'll keep Enzo 7.5. I'm tempted to put Palmer down to a 6.5. But I'll keep it. We'll move on to Jackson. Obviously, he subs quite quick because he only made flipping 2. So, yeah, Jackson. Let's bring up his stats, shall we? Nicholas Jackson. Again, I said it at the very beginning of the stream. Obviously, a lot of you weren't here then. It pisses me off so much that every game Jackson gets subbed off for Nkunku. Every game it happens. Every game we're terrible after. And I know Nkunku nearly scored the worldie, but he didn't. And outside of the worldie, it was shocking. Absolutely shocking. And because Jackson never played in a Conference League, didn't play in that Carabao Cup midweek game against Newcastle either. Why does he never play 90 minutes? Why is he always subbed off? I don't get it, man. I really don't get it, man. 10 out of 10 passes. That's good going. One shot that he had got on target, 1 out of 1 dribble. I saw more than 1 dribble, and I saw him miss, lose the ball when trying to dribble on at least one occasion. 4 out of 8 ground duels is good. 1 out of 1 air duels is good. I think Jackson did a job. And I think a lot of the hate for Jackson today from this chat and what I've seen on Twitter as well has been very misplaced. I I'll give him 6.5. I genuinely think he did a bit more than average for what he got. I genuinely believe so. I know a lot of you are going to be unhappy with that, but that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to highlight your comment, Ricky, and hopefully get back to it later. If I forget, please remind me. Please remind me. And again, ladies and gentlemen, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. It means the world. Helps me spread these streams out. Helps me spread the channel. I'd love that. I'd love that from you. So please do. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'll give Jackson 6.5. Yeah, maybe people think it's too high, but I don't care. It maybe part of it is my annoyance at Nkunku, but still. Let's look at Nkunku. Let's look at Nkunku though. Where is he? Obviously, only played 17 minutes. That one shot, that bicycle kick, outrageous save from Leno. Outrageous effort, to be fair. 3 out of 5 passes, 1 out of 1 shots, 0 tackles, 1 aerial duel. Because he escaped all of the others. There was more aerial duels than he was in. There was more ground duels that he was in, but he just got scared and ran away. And Nkunku, for that cameo appearance, usually I would say I don't give him a rating because he played too short, but because we only made 1 sub, I have to give him a rating. For the time that he was on the pitch, I'll give him a 5.5. Because he didn't have much to do, but I just don't think he worked hard enough. And Nicholas Jackson, I thought was better, but I can't go too low because he still had that huge chance and great effort towards the end. Now, so let me see. I want to tweet this quickly, so you can. I guess you can watch me tweet if you want. So where is this one? Yes, this is what you can see. This is wild. Madueke better have done something real bad. Otherwise, leaving him out when we have so few attackers available is insane. So I'll post that. And yeah, but I'm not like criticizing or questioning Maresca, really. It's more, I don't know what exactly it was. So it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Now it's a happy Christmas. Football is back. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, bro. Sorry, I get distracted. But yeah, as you can see, that's nothing. There's nothing else. Madueke being left out was a technical decision. Daily tweeted it as well. Cole Palmer said, "We knew we weren't going to win every game. It is the manager's first season with us. We are learning. Everyone said from the start we aren't title contenders. We're just getting better as a team and growing." I love his optimism. But why has there not been a single quote from Maresca post-game yet? Is he still in there shouting at the players? Because why is there not a single quote? Maybe Daly and Pys have just gone too angry to talk about ratings, to post quotes. Let's get to Enzo Maresca, shall we? I'll put him below Cole Palmer. What did we make of Enzo then, guys? What did we make of Enzo? 100% on Enzo, on Maresca. Given Nkunku a FO, you know what that means? Actually, I don't know. Sorry. Oh, an F off. Okay. 4. I'm not sure if that was for Nkunku or for Maresca. Probably Nkunku. Nkunku Loki deserves an emoji. You know what, Ricky? I back it. Let's give Nkunku an emoji. And the emoji is a question mark, because I don't understand why. Why every game him? Why every game him at striker? Why every game for Jackson? You know, if at the very end, say after we had conceded the equalizer and Jackson was still on, if you then had brought Nkunku on to add to Jackson, no problem with that. I have no problem with Nkunku coming on in that position then. But replacing Jackson every week pisses me off. But yeah, Maresca. I'm not going to downgrade him for the Madueke situation because we don't know the ins and outs of it. Maresca may have been absolutely in the right to do that. Noni needs to start to be a bit careful now, by the way, because Noni has been asked by Maresca recently. He needs to do more. He can do more. He already last season by Pochettino got dropped and left out of the squad, I think, a couple of times after going out when he shouldn't have. And at least according to the rumor earlier, that's what happened again, unless it was that video from last year, and that's just resurfacing, and, you know, people obviously don't know. That part of it, I have no idea. But Noni needs to look after himself, man. Like, you've got Esteval coming. If you want any hope of remaining at Chelsea, you need to stop doing these things. Like, you really need to stop. But yeah, Maresca, I think the game management was poor. I think subs should have happened, first of all, earlier. And then I think different ones. And then I think once the last half an hour, 20 minutes started, he should have realized, okay, we're in a bit of trouble now. We play a bit more pragmatically now, and we try to hit them on the break. Then you bring on fresh legs. You bring on Tyreek George for fresh legs. I guess you bring Nkunku on for that. For me, I would have brought on Nkunku and Felix and Tyreek George just for fresh legs. Play a bit more pragmatically and try to hit them on the break and get a second that way. That's sometimes what you need to do. But we didn't do that. I thought that was poor. The management was poor. The decisions were poor. The shape didn't really work out. I mean, Marco Silva kind of outclassed him. Again, we looked at Neto's average position. Neto's average position was down here. Usually he's up here. And it was because of how Fulham sets up. And that's fine. You know, sometimes the opposition sets up that harms you in a way, and then you need to adapt to it. But that's, even though Maresca has been fantastic at adapting to situations so far, today he wasn't. And the subs and the game management, I'm giving him 3 for the 3 points we dropped today. That's what he's getting. 3 for the 3 points he dropped today. Yeah. Muhammad Ali is also sad. I am also sad. It's like watching replay Colwell pass the ball to Sanchez for a long ball. Okay. Maresca saw our right-hand side get bullied all game. Neto was huffing and puffing since first half, and he finishes the game. Criminal. Yeah, we just didn't have anyone there. I mean, sure, you could have brought Tyreek George on there, but we all know Tyreek George doesn't have the legs or the tactical understanding to do as much tracking back. Realistically, we know that. But that's why it's so wild that he left Nkunku out. Madueke out. That's why it's seriously wild. But yeah. I mean, CA Mafia would have only given him a 0.5. Like I say, I'm giving him 3 for the 3 points we dropped. I'm leaving it at that. There's no more quotes. There's no more nothing. It's just a bit sad. 1 point in the 2 games around Christmas. It's not good. And I am not happy. Okay, see, we've got something. We've got something by Enzo Maresca. By Lloyd Canfield, no idea who he is, but shout out him. Enzo Maresca says he didn't bring on João Felix because he plays in the same position as Cole Palmer. He says they can play together, but today they didn't, as it was a matter of balance. And I respect that. But you should have just brought Felix on for Sancho. Like, are you telling me that Sancho really helped? That's what I'm asking, man. That's what I'm asking. I just don't agree with it. And he was tired. We decided for Christo, for Nico, for João, he plays more or less the same position as Cole. They played together already, but it's also a matter of balance. That's why. Yeah, you decide for Christo, for Nico every fucking game, and every fucking game it doesn't work since Bournemouth. And Bournemouth was in what, September? It's now nearly 2025. It nearly is. Piss me off, man. Stop it. Stop it. Constantly, every game, it's Nkunku for Jackson. Stop this, man. Pisses me off. Farseed says, right back, Neto work rate was crazy, though, but that's not what we paid for. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should criticize Neto as an individual today. I think Fulham's setup, plus Maresca not adapting to it, is why Neto had to do what he had to do. And I think Neto, because this must have been a frustrating game for Neto, right? He couldn't get himself involved in attack. He wasn't high enough. When he got the ball, he was outmanned every time. Once or twice he tried to get past this man. He did, to be fair, most of the time when he had the opportunities to do so. And I actually think Neto was an example today of professionalism, where like a game that he was not gonna, he didn't enjoy that game today, but he kept working and he was dead by the end, but he kept sprinting and going and running and fighting. Like, not this best game. And Neto is reminding me more and more of Willian. The pace, the work rate, the every now and again worldy shots. He's reminding me more and more of Willian. And I loved Willian. Now, was Willian sometimes frustrating? And did you, alongside of Willian, did you need a Hazard that was that extra level or 2 levels higher? 100% you needed that. But you need a winger like Neto in your team as well. I'm not saying he should be playing all the time in every game. But yeah, his record was crazy. You can't just leave your best goal-scoring winger at home and not take heat for the loss. Well, depending on what the best goal-scoring winger did. Obviously, that plays part. Why was Enzo pressing as if he was a striker in the second half? Well, he actually often does that. But yeah, you don't always have to take off players due to performance. Sometimes you've got to do it for fresh legs. That's why Fulham won. Yeah, 100%. Just before I finish it off, I'm going to go to that question by you, Ricky. I didn't forget. Ricky asked, in your opinion, what are the top priorities for the January window? You said multiple. You said plural. Top priorities. So that makes it more difficult. I still think centre back, but obviously, if on January 5th Wesley Fofana comes back and then remains fit for the rest of the season, which is unlikely, I know. But if that were to happen, then I'm not so bothered about buying a centre back. You know what I mean? But we miss Fofana a lot, so we need a right centre back. Thomas Araujo from Benfica looks quite good, but obviously signed a new contract recently, so that's going to be steep. I think we need a left back because Maresca doesn't trust Vega, does he? Like Vega wasn't on the bench today, so he puts Bettinelli in the squad over Vega. Like Vega would have been another midfield option. See, only Caicedo on the bench. Vega wasn't on the bench. Why? No trust in the Prem. No trust. Is that warranted? Is it not? I don't know. I'm not in training. Does all right in the Conference League. Didn't look great against Shamrock Rovers. Didn't look great against Astana, even though he scored, to be fair. So I think we need a backup left back. Not to play instead of Cucurella, just to be clear, a backup one. A striker. I want us to buy a striker, but I want us to buy a backup striker. I essentially want Samuel Omrodion with a cleared medical. That's what I want, really. So that's my problem, Ricky, with this question, that I don't think it's going to happen. Could you argue for a winger now that Mudryk isn't available anymore? But before we know, do we need to buy a winger? We need to wait for the B sample to come back from Mudryk's doping test to see whether the B sample confirms the result of the first one or not. That's what we need to find out before we need to make a decision of, do we need a winger maybe? But we need something, that's for sure. We need something. CA says, sign striker, move Jackson to left wing, make Sancho depth option. No. I mean, Maresca has made it very clear that he doesn't see Jackson as a winger at all, so that's not going to happen. In a counter-attacking system, Jackson can do left wing, but in the way we play, he's never going to be a left wing on Maresca. Maresca has said that, so I understand you wanting it and stuff, but Maresca has made it very clear that he doesn't see that. So, yeah, I still think sign a striker, but sign a backup striker, sell Nkunku, or Felix, like one of them. You could argue selling Felix makes more sense because clearly the manager doesn't think Felix should play unless Palmer is injured. And obviously we hope that Palmer doesn't get injured. But as soon as Palmer does get injured, we're bloody hoping and praying for Felix to be there. So, yeah, I don't know. We need a different Jackson profile striker. Yeah, I agree. Give me Chris Wood. I keep saying it. This is my priority. I'll say it again now. Chris Wood. This, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I don't think this will happen. But in my opinion, our top priority for the January transfer window should be Chris Wood. Yeah, I told you. Do you see Gil getting any Prem minutes? With injuries in the right areas, maybe. He obviously got some minutes against City in the first game of the season, but not since. And obviously that was before we made certain signings. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to have to round this one out. I'm frustrated with that. Obviously, we play again Monday the 30th against Ipswich. It's not going to be easy, man. I mean, give me Cunha, but how much of a different profile is he, though? Is he that good in the air? Is he that much of a physical profile? I don't know. I need to do more research on him to make a foregone conclusion on that. But yeah, we go again Monday, and we need to win. Monday, I mean, today was already kind of a must-win, and I cannot believe that we bottled it and lost for the first time at Stamford Bridge against Fulham since 1979. It's a disgrace. It's an utter disgrace. Yeah, I'm not happy. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to round this one out. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all. If you're still here, hit the subscribe button for me. Every new subscriber counts. I'm still trying to get higher up that table and eventually get to 20,000 subscribers. So please, every new one counts. Please subscribe. Hit that like button for me on your way out. That would be massively appreciated. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Ignore the Chelsea results. Hope you all had a nice time with your loved ones. Of course, if you didn't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had, depending on where you live, at least a couple of nice days off or something. And in a couple of days, I wish you all a very, very happy New Year. Obviously, we still got another Chelsea game to go beforehand. So I'll see you before then. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. Upwards and onwards. And I will see you next time.